What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. J. Cole put out False Prophets and Everybody Dies. They were included in his Eyes documentary, and then soon after we found out that they won't be on the upcoming album For Your Eyez Only, dropping this Friday. But luckily, J. Cole and his team decided to release the songs officially, put them up on iTunes so you can go buy both singles now. Originally, I wasn't going to review these songs only because I feel like I missed the mark. I should have capitalized off of it last week when the songs first came out and everybody started talking about it. And B is because we didn't have the CD quality versions. We didn't have anything official outside of the documentary. Since they were released, I felt like I should at least say something about them because they're not going to be on the album. So essentially we're getting 12 new J. Cole songs, and that's on top of the 10 that are coming on the album. And we'll discuss those as well. I feel like this is like one big mega J. Cole post. We're going to talk about the 2 songs and then a little bit about the track listing that came out. So let's start with False Prophets. We've heard all the chatter so far. He's going at Kanye. He's throwing shots at Drake. He's publicly telling Wale to count his blessings. You know, all these different scenarios that went on when this song came out. It's pretty much confirmed that yes, he did go at Kanye. Why? Well, the only reason I could think of is because of Jay-Z. Jay-Z is like this puppet master in the shadows, and I feel like he's pulling the strings on some of this stuff going on in hip-hop. So instead of Jay publicly responding, he sent J. Cole to do it. And he made it to where it doesn't sound like he told J. Cole to do it. He makes it seem like J. Cole comes from a place of disappointment. So this is kind of out of character for him. But at the same time, it feels like he's finally realizing that he's at the top. J. Cole is one of the top MCs. He's one of the top artists in hip-hop. And he's finally feeling like he understands that. Because when you're on top, you can do what you want. So if J. Cole was like some middle class rapper, he wouldn't be able to get away with these Kanye shots. Everything J. Cole said on the record is very valid. Kanye does have writers. We have seen him, we are watching him kind of like explode, implode, however you want to phrase it. We're seeing him break down in the public's eye, and a lot of people are still egging him on. As for the Drake shots, who knows if he's actually going at Drake. I think a lot of people have dropped that theory just because the two have been cool in the past, but I don't think it's enough. I think a lot of things happen behind the scenes in music that we never hear about, and that could be the inspiration. With the Drake shots, it was perceived that he was talking about the way that Drake kind of takes other people's styles. He chases the hot style at the moment and sort of hops on the record, signs the artist, uses it to his own benefit, while the other artist doesn't really get too much of a benefit. I mean, you get the Drake cosign, so that's pretty big right there, but what does it mean in the long run? It means more for Drake to hop on someone's record than it does for that artist. And then there was the line about not writing his own material, and that is something that came out last year about Drake. So it seems like those 2 lines, which are close to each other in the song, could be about Drake, but then the entire verse is about Kanye, so it's kind of weird to go from Kanye to Drake and then back to Kanye at the last of the first verse. So maybe it's just like, it's not the case. I think Cole understands what it takes to generate a buzz. Not to say that he needs one, but if he wants to generate people talking about his song on the internet, he's going to write the way that people would debate on the internet. You throw out stuff like that and you're going to have people that think it's about Drake. So I don't know if it's about Drake. You can make the argument for, or you can make the argument against it. Now let's talk about Everybody Dies. With this record, it symbolizes that J. Cole is passionate about hip-hop. You can't doubt that there are some artists in hip-hop that are just in it for the money. There's artists in hip-hop that can't write, that are just absolutely god-awful, and yet somehow they've become popular. Somehow they're not scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're at the top. And this generation, at least, like the new generation for 2016. Some of these rappers, they just don't seem like they have the passion that J. Cole does, and so I would get that frustration. I think J. Cole doing this record is good because a lot of J. Cole's fans probably don't like the rappers that he's subliminally dissing. And you can make the argument like J. Cole shouldn't be dissing new rappers, but in reality, new rappers should be passionate about the culture that they represent. You can't walk around here and diss the greats. You can't sit here and say Biggie was overrated, Tupac was overrated. It doesn't matter if you truly believe that. That's just disrespect. You should always find something to respect about hip-hop from the past. I'm not sitting here saying you need to be a hip-hop historian and listen to everybody. You don't need to recite a Rakim album from start to finish. I'm just saying that you should take pride in the genre that you represent. And at the very least, if you don't want to listen to anything in the past, that's fine. Do your thing. But don't sit here and diss anybody from the past that is a legend that really helped pave the way for an artist to have the career that they have now. So those two records are out now on iTunes. I'll include a link so you can listen to them and get them, add them to the upcoming album. And speaking of the upcoming album, For Your Eyez Only, the track listing came out yesterday. They put it out, and it's 10 songs like I mentioned earlier, and the back cover doesn't show any guest features. Now, while most people are inclined to believe that there will be no guest features, this doesn't necessarily mean that there is no features, because sometimes the back cover just doesn't have feature names on it. We've seen that in the past. So until we hear the music, I'm inclined to believe that there is the possibility of some features on here. But if not, then I would understand it, because J. Cole is successful without needing anybody's cosign, really. As for the album's content, just judging off the song titles, I believe that we're going to have your traditional J. Cole sound, like we saw on 2014 Forest Hills Drive. He really came into his own with that album, and I think now that he understands what his fans want and what he's able to create, I don't look at this album as a big risk. I don't think he's gonna go and do a bunch of experiments or try a whole lot of things new. He's just gonna give you what the fans want. It's gonna be personal, and it's going to be fitting for the times. I think you have a record like Change, and that sounds like something that's going to definitely be about what's going on in America. I think you'll have some love songs on here. There's a two-parter. There's She's Mine Part 1 and 2. Part 1 comes early in the track list. Part 2 comes towards the end of the album. So that sounds like it could be some kind of a love story. But aside from that, it's one of those things where track listings are kind of hard to decipher. You can throw out your own opinions on what you expect, your own hopes, but ultimately we won't know what the entire album is about until it comes out on December 9th. So I'll include the track listing in the description section as well, so you can check that out. Let me know what you think about the two records, Everybody Dies and False Prophets. And what do you think about this track listing? Any songs stand out to you? Which one are you most anticipating? Let me know in the comment section below. Then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter @SermonsDomain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.